Shwmae bawb, Jason Shepherd yma. Hello everyone, Jason Shepherd here from the Learn Welsh podcast, and today we're continuing our learning how to discuss the weather. We learned how to discuss the present tense weather last time. It's cold, mae'n oer. It's warm today. Mae'n gynes heddiw. What other words did I teach you? Braf, fine. It's fine this morning. Mae'n braf y bore yma. So it was all about what the weather was like right now at this moment. Now we're going to look at how to say what the weather was like. So the past tense, basically. We're going to make some sentences now about what the weather was like yesterday, last week, day before yesterday, etc. I'm also going to give you a lot of new Welsh weather words that we didn't look at last time. And if there's time, we're also going to look at how to say what the weather will be like, the future tense. Okay, so let's start with a question. Should oedd y tywydd? What was the weather like? Should oedd y tywydd? Should oedd y tywydd? Now, this is a great question because we can add things on to the end of it. For example, should oedd y tywydd ddoe? What was the weather like yesterday? Ddoe is yesterday. Should oedd y tywydd ddoe? Or we could say, what was the weather like the day before yesterday? Should oedd y tywydd echddoe? Echddoe. Put that little sound into it, like at the end of loch. Echddoe. Echddoe. Should oedd y tywydd echddoe? What was the weather like the day before yesterday? Or we could say, what was the weather like last week? Now, last week is wythnos diwetha. Wythnos, week, diwetha, last. You'll notice in Welsh that descriptive words are put in a different order to English, basically the opposite order. So if it's last week in English, it's week last in Welsh. Wythnos diwetha. Should oedd y tywydd wythnos diwetha? Should oedd y tywydd wythnos diwetha? We can also use words that we learnt last week, such as this morning, this afternoon. Should oedd y tywydd y bore yma? Should oedd y tywydd y prynhawn yma? And here's a new one for you. Tonight or this evening is heno. Heno. Just think of a hen that's going, oh look, the chicken's yawning. Heno. Heno. Should oedd y tywydd heno? What was the weather like this evening? To make a sentence about what the weather was like, for example, it was wet, we use roedd hi'n. It was. Roi with a th sound at the end of it, like the th in they, th. Roedd. Roedd hi'n. It was, and then we put the word after it. Now, I just said it was wet, which is roedd hi'n wlyb. Roedd hi'n wlyb. Last week I also mentioned mutations and how there was a soft mutation after mae hi'n. It is. Mae hi'n wlyb. It's wet. The same mutation is also here because the mutation is after the apostrophe N at the end of hi'n. Roedd hi'n. Roedd hi'n wlyb. The actual word is gwlyb. All we did was we took the G at the beginning of Gwlyb, threw it away, bye-bye, bye-bye, we don't want to see you again until later. And we got the word wlyb. Now I like that word, Gwlyb, wlyb. It sounds like a wet word. It's got that wet sound to it. Wlyb, wlyb. Roedd hi'n wlyb. It was wet. Here's another word. Cymylog. Cymylog. It means cloudy. Cymylog. Cymylog. It's like you've got a big load of logs and you're saying, come all logs, come with me. Like the logs can actually walk by themselves, which isn't very likely. But anyway, cymylog. It mutates in our sentence. It was cloudy. The C becomes a G. Roedd hi'n gymylog. Roedd hi'n gymylog. It was cloudy. Should oedd y tywydd ddoe? Roedd hi'n gymylog. It was cloudy. Foggy or misty is newlog. And the way I like to think of this word, to remember it, is to think, oh, it's foggy outside, it's really misty, and it's cold. So I want to put a new log on the fire. New log. No mutation. Roedd hi'n newlog. Roedd hi'n newlog. It was misty. It was foggy. Roedd hi'n newlog. Windy in Welsh is gwyntog. 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 We're going to say it was windy. Yes, we take the G. Throw it away. We don't want to see you, G. Go away. Oh, poor G. Look at him. He's looking very sad now. Oh, sorry, G. You can come back later. Yeah. Roedd hi'n wyntog. Roedd hi'n wyntog. It was windy. Roedd hi'n wyntog. So that's the form. Roedd hi'n followed by any of the weather words that you want. Roedd hi'n oer. It was cold. Roedd hi'n gynnes. It was warm, etc. Now, let's look at how to say what the weather's will be like in the future tense. We use the word bydd for it will be. The question is, should bydd y tywydd? What will the weather be like? Should bydd y tywydd? Should bydd y tywydd? Bydd sounds like you're going to say the word byd, but with a th at the end of it, a th sound, like in them or they. Bydd, bydd. So go to say the word byd, but use the th from they, them, this, etc. Bydd, bydd. Okay. Should bydd y tywydd wythnos nesa? What will the weather be like next week? Should bydd y tywydd wythnos nesa? So, next week is wythnos, week, and then nesa, next. See how it's, once again, the descriptive words in the wrong order, well, the right order actually, but a different order to English. So it's week, next, wythnos nesa. Should bydd y tywydd wythnos nesa? Or we could say, yfory, tomorrow. We often drop the Y off the word, so it's fory. Should bydd y tywydd fory? What will the weather be like tomorrow? Should bydd y tywydd fory? Or we could say, what will the weather be like the day after tomorrow? The day after tomorrow is drenydd. Dren, ith. That th sound again, as in they, them. Drenydd. Drenydd. Sut bydd y tywydd drenydd? What will the weather be like the day after tomorrow? Sut bydd y tywydd drenydd? Okay, so we've got a few words there for our question. Here's the answer. We say bydd hi'n. It will be. Bydd hi'n. Bydd hi'n. Very similar to roedd hi'n, mae hi'n, bydd hi'n. It will be, and then a weather word. Bydd hi'n oer. It'll be cold. Bydd hi'n wyntog. It will be windy. Once again, the same soft mutation applies because of that hi'n, the apostrophe N after he. So it's he apostrophe N, which we pronounce as hi'n. Bydd hi'n. For example, we have the word mild, which is moyn. Moyn. Mwy and an N after it. Moyn. Moyn. Mutates to voyn, a V sound. M to F, but the F is a V sound in Welsh. Voyn. Bydd hi'n voyn. It will be mild. Bydd hi'n voyn. So the weather will be mild. It will be mild. Damp in Welsh is tamp with a T. Of course, when it mutates into the English word damp. So tamp becomes damp. Bydd hi'n damp. Bydd hi'n damp. It will be damp. Bydd hi'n damp. So it's a nice easy one to remember. But remember that it's not damp normally only when it soft mutates. You could think to yourself, I'm tamping, I'm mad, I'm tamping because the weather is damp. Tamp, damp. We also have stormy, which is stormus. I like this word because it sounds like the weather is stormy. Stormus. It's a stormy day. Storm, with a rolling R. Storm, us. Stormus. You could think, we are all in the storm. Us, all in the storm together. Stormus. Bydd hi'n stormus. Bydd hi'n stormus. I'll use 3 words for you. Eira, which means snow. But if we put bwrw in front of it, bwrw gives us that motion, that coming down. So like it's snowing rather than just the word snow by itself. So bwrw eira, snowing. Rain is glaw. But if we want it to rain, we need that motion word again, bwrw. Bwrw glaw, raining. And if we wanted it to hail, cesair, ces and I with a rolling R, cesair, cesair. That's hail. We want it to start to hail, we want it to come down and start hailing. Bwrw cesair. And there's no mutation with bwrw, so it's bydd hi'n bwrw glaw. It will be raining. Bydd hi'n bwrw glaw. Bydd hi'n bwrw cesair. It will be hailing. Bydd hi'n bwrw eira. It will be snowing. Okay, or we can use it obviously with the other words. Mae hi'n bwrw glaw. It's raining. Roedd hi'n bwrw eira. It was snowing. So all of these weather words we can just put in to any of our sentences. Our present tense, our past tense, or our future tense. Okay, so there are our weather words for you. There's quite a few weather words there. There's lots and lots more to teach you. But those are the weather words for now. And our weather sentences as well. We can now say or ask the question, what will the weather be like? What was it like? What is it like? And then answer the question, it is a cold, it was cold, it will be cold. So I hope you found that helpful and useful. And we will be moving on to looking at some other useful sentences and phrases in a new lesson coming soon. If you liked today's video, please give us a big thumbs up. If you'd like to see more, why not subscribe and click the subscribe button. And if you'd like to know every time a Learn Welsh podcast video comes out, why not click the little bell? There she is. Thank you so much, all of you that are supporting us here. Diolch yn fawr iawn, iawn, iawn. I appreciate you so much. I really do. You're really helping to keep this channel going. If you would like to support us, you can go to the Learn Welsh Podcast Club at learnwelshpodcast.co.uk, or you can go to Patreon, patreon.com/learnwelsh. Either way, you'll get lots of extra learning materials as a big thank you for your support, including extended editions of the videos, extra quizzes, dialogues, transcripts of the lessons, etc. Well, I think it's time for me to go. I'll see you soon. Hwyl!